When we turn on the TV news, it seems there's trouble everywhere. Hearts filled with such despair, some stop beating out of fear. Many folks are down on their luck and could use a helping hand. Some need a second chance and others just need a friend. Don't do nothing just 'cause you can't do everything. A little love can turn a deep frown into the widest grin. Try and do something to ease the hunger and the pain. No, don't do nothing just 'cause you can't do everything.
Hi everyone, this is Albert Torcaso, and guess what? It's a Tuesday, I do believe, and it's December the 14th, 2010. Today, America, Pittsburgh, my Pittsburgh residents, my people in Greenfield, my people in Lawrenceville, my people in Bloomfield, my people over there across the river in Homestead, my people in Southside, Northside, Squirrel Hill, Oakland, you name it. Pittsburgh residents, and my people in Lancaster, PA, my people in, I don't know, Upper Darby, wherever, Pennsylvania, in the United States of America, all of you, I want you to do something today. I want you to get prepared to hear some shocking, very upsetting news. Get ready for it. Now, I'm going to tell you that the window's broken today. I'm going to tell you that the window's broken. And I'm going to also tell you how you, you, have the power to start fixing the window. And obviously, that's a metaphor. We're not talking about literally a window here, but what we are talking about is some very appalling information. So do not tune out. Now, hopefully by the end of the show, we'll get our chance to say Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and all that kind of stuff. Right now, it's time for you to put down the coffee cup, put down the soda, put anything down that you don't want to spill on your body, because in a couple of minutes or less, you're going to hear some scary stuff. But you know what? Matter of fact, I almost messed up my own show. Yeah, I'm only a werewolf. I make mistakes. So you know what? Let's go ahead and go to tape roll number 1, and then that will give me enough time to let you know what's been going on in D.C. And you know what? D.C., Washington, D.C., stands for Washington Don't Care. Somebody told me that. It might have been Chris. It might have been somebody else. Washington, I think it was Laura, a friend of mine named Laura. But Washington Don't Care. But in the meantime, America, do not leave, because I got something before we go to tape roll. This is a book called Free Money by Kevin Trudeau. I'm not going to advertise, but I am going to tell you some information about this. And I'm only going to say this. This is one book that may be of interest to you. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not advertising. Might be, because it's called Free Money They Don't Want You to Know About. Well, Kevin Trudeau wants you to know about it, and Albert Torcaso wants you to know about it, because it's time that all my Pittsburgh friends and Pennsylvania Americans, it's time we all have a chance at the American dream. Because unfortunately, for some, our entire life, we've been living the American nightmare. Well, now, this book, myself, Annette, John, and Kathy, we're all going to tell you about how we may be able to live the American dream. So America, Pittsburgh, PA residents, get ready for some excitement. But for now, our wonderful staff member, Yuri, is going to take us into the first tape roll with Mr. Comeover. It's Albert Torcaso, and I thank you for watching Humanity Matters, which you're probably watching now, the live portion, and this is obviously the tape roll portion. You'll see that I have a shadow in the background here. The videography is at best, the lighting I should say, is at best poor to medium. But yet I'm still making this tape roll. You may wonder why. Simple. I can't afford at this time the lighting that I need to get rid of the shadow, nor can I worry about the content, the technological content, because if I do that, then this doesn't get done. Now you might say to yourself, well, then don't do it. That's fine, but except for one problem. If I don't do that, I don't get to give you this important message. So I'm going to give it to you, and I'm going to give it to you as quickly as possible. You know that I'm tough on my shows. In fact, this particular episode, if it's the one I planned on using this tape reel for, is very tough. It's asking the government very hard questions, such as, where did you get the trillions of dollars, the $9 trillion to lend to the banks? So that's a question we all need answers to. So I really hope you will call 1-202-224-3121 and 1-202-225-3121. Call Congress. And if you're thinking, well, I can't afford long distance, get on www.senate.gov or www.house.gov. Find out the local phone number for your congressmen and women and senators. Contact them. Email them. Do whatever you got to do. Ask them, where do we get $9 trillion to give to the banks? $9 trillion. $9 trillion. But you've heard that already on this part of the show. So you're like, well, why is he telling this again? That's not what I'm here for. Not in this part. I'm here to say to you that I recently watched a video that I had done years ago of my dad conducting the Vintage Singers at the Vintage Senior Citizen Center, probably around 2001 or something. I don't really remember what year it was. And it was a happy time when I filmed it, and I enjoyed watching them. But when I watched this, my dad had died a few years ago, Albert R. Goldsmith. So when I watched this, it was extremely hard to watch, emotionally hard. And I thought to myself, I'm very, very upset. I'm almost to the point of tears. I thought to myself, I have to keep telling myself it was a happy time. And it was. And if I knew then that years later I would see this video after Al had died, and I'd be this emotionally distraught. If I knew at that time, the question then becomes, would I have taken a picture? Would I have taken a video? Absolutely. My friends, I am tough on my shows. But you know what? I'm tough because I love life. I'm tough because even though I never met any of you, well, some of you, I love you. Not in the romantic sense of the word, but I care about you. So, of course, I'm going to be rough with the politicians when they... All right, well, we're going to have a quick change in plans. I believe that Chris Weis is on the phone. If he's still there, let's go ahead and get that call. And then we're going to get into What Humanity Matters, the questions, filmed live December the 14th, 2010 is all about. And yeah, it's actually about that $9 trillion that you heard on the tape roll. And it's the only little problem with that $9 trillion. Turns out it was more than $9 trillion. And yeah, I did say trillion. I didn't say billion. I said trillion. But hopefully if Chris is there, we can go ahead and get here and take care of the business. Are you there, Chris?
I'm here, but also I read that it was 17 trillion, not 9 trillion.
Well,
and I did call Mike Doyle's office and told him that they should not give money to the banks. And Mike Doyle's Pittsburgh number is 412-261-5091. That's his office on Ross Street.
Can you repeat the phone number, please?
412-261-5091.
Okay. Now, you notice that, I know you can't see here, but we have John Robinson. He's going to talk about the Port Authority a little bit later.
Right.
Do you have any thoughts on that? And we do have our co-host, Annette Mendel, here, and Kathy Payer. So do you have any thoughts? Do you want to say anything to Annette or Kathy or John or myself?
Well, one more thing before we get into the Port Authority issue.
Yeah.
Is I did see the video with Al Goldsmith, and it was very inspiring. You know, so I just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah, it was tough because there was like 4 or 5 deceased people that are in that video. So it was a tough one for me, but I thank you for watching it. Now, can you tell us a little bit about your thoughts on the Port Authority? And remember that John's going to give us a whole lot of information later on.
Right. Well, when I was involved with Port Authority, I'm not anymore. I always got deterred because Dan Autorado always wanted them, the Port Authority, to open their books to county council, and they wouldn't do it.
Right.
But yet they would still get the money from Allegheny County and the state. If I was Dan Autorado, if they wouldn't open up their books to county council, I wouldn't give them anything, because it's a give and take, and people need to see what they have. Also, Port Authority does have a business, and people don't realize that Port Authority does have a business, and that needs to be revealed. And also the property that they own, and the money that they're getting from Allegheny County for the properties they own, because they own a piece of property in Hazelwood. It's a daycare center, and they're getting money from the Department of Aging.
Can I add something? Can I say something on this? Port Authority books are open. I've seen it myself. We get a report, an Allegheny County Transit Council, from their chief financial officer, and she brings the budgets with her. We see her the same week the Port Authority board does. I've never had them hesitate for a minute in giving me an answer to any question. Anybody can look at the books.
But Dan Autorado, when I was involved in 1992, Dan Autorado did say that he wanted them to open up their books to county council, and that's when Pete Satalis was in charge. And they wouldn't do it. Well,
Chris, we're going to probably move forward, so can you give us any hellos or what have you? Because I don't want this to only be about a Port Authority. That is a very vitally important aspect of the show, but we got to get to these trillions of dollars and get to these questions. So how about you let us know if there's any other hellos you want to say to people or what have you?
Just say hello to everybody there, and you're all doing a good job, and keep up the good work.
Well, don't worry. You'll be here in January freezing like we are.
Right.
We'll see you when we get home.
Right.
Just to let you know, that's not an inside joke. Unfortunately, for people out there as viewers, when you are in a studio of most TV shows, you have to make sure that the equipment doesn't get overheated. So the humans have to contend with maybe being quote unquote cold or cold. Right now, I would vote for cold, but that's all right. But yeah, we do some sacrificing for the American people and for the Pittsburgh residents. So Chris, we're gonna probably take off, but can you please say hello to my peoples here?
I did say hello. I'll say hello again.
Everybody.
You didn't mention
Chris.
Kathy's name or Net's name.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, we're good.
Hey, keep up the good work, folks.
All right, well, thanks, Chris. We're going to go ahead and
We'll
move
see you
forward.
when we get
And
home.
don't forget to tell DW to give us a call a little bit later in the show.
Correct.
All right, we're out of here on that one.
See you, Chris.
Bye.
We're going to move forward. Before we do, let me go ahead and get down to the meat and potatoes of this trillion-dollar business. Now, America, as I said, you heard in the tape roll that the government has given the banks in the last 3 years $9 trillion. I recently found out that, according to some other reports, so that I would call that conflicting reports, because what I learned on a news organization, theoretically a news organization, it said it was $9.4 trillion they gave to the banks. However, on this other report, it is 12 point. And still other reports must be circulating because, as you will recall, Chris mentioned he heard it was $17 trillion. So let us say, for the sake of debate here, we'll say that it was $10 trillion, since it's somewhere between $9 and $17 trillion. Trillion with a T.
What's a few $1 trillion among friends?
Well, let's not go there yet, John. There's a lot of trillions here. Now, let me hand this over to Annette. Oh, she has one of her own, actually. She's going to read.